An update here at WWNYTV.com on our YouTube channel, and a chance for us to give you an update here about 9 o'clock at night. Jeff Cole with John Kubis here as power outages in Jefferson County continue to increase. About 4,600 customers without power. That was the last count that we saw, and 1,100 over in Lewis County. The power outages started in the Belleville area, Adams, and then we saw them move north as that storm continued to move into the central part of Jefferson County. And winds have been 50, 55 miles an hour and projected to be stronger in this 9 o'clock hour, which is when we're recording this for you. And I think we have an explanation as to why we may have some stronger winds here. But let's talk to John here first and look at some current winds. If we could take our weather graphics full, and John can explain what we're looking at.
Watching these winds accelerate or pick up in velocity, Jeff, like you mentioned. Notice the current wind gusts outside right now. Barnes Corners 53. Just watched Watertown pop to 51 mile per hour. Lowville, take that with a grain of salt, but winds not nearly as strong. And Fort Drum finally getting in on the action. One thing I am watching, it hasn't been all that windy over the past, say, 2-3 hours. Remember a couple of hours ago, early evening, the winds really weren't that strong. Notice what's happening right now in western Jefferson County. See how, Jeff, see how the rain's beginning to end? Drier air is working in, and that's allowing those stronger winds to mix on down to the surface.
So we were talking during our 6 o'clock broadcast earlier today that there could have been a chance where the winds weren't as strong because we had more rain in the atmosphere, and it would kind of stop that inversion for those stronger winds to come all the way down to ground level. And if it dried up, you'd see the wind gusts pick up, and that's what we're seeing right now. A little bit of drier precipitation where you see some not green on this radar right now is where some of the higher gusts, stronger gusts could be happening as we talk at 9:03 p.m. tonight.
And that's where we've seen the power outages, right? Basically Adams, Rodman, basically west and northwest of the Tug Hill Plateau. So we're seeing that dry air work on in. That's allowing those winds to kind of mix on down to the surface. And of course, it's a downsloping wind as well, which just accelerates.
Coming off the Tug Hill, coming down of Champion Hill into Fort Drum, as we predicted, some of the strongest stuff could be hitting Fort Drum as we continue on. Still the window that we talked about earlier today, that the worst of this could be 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Is that still the possibility?
Still looking at that, keeping those winds, wind gusts potentially 60 plus mile per hour until 1 a.m. Things kind of, definitely calm down after midnight tonight. It'll still be rather windy, but nothing, say, 60, 65, 70. Rain tapering off. We've got to watch that Doppler radar, and looks like the next storm for this upcoming weekend. So a lot to unpack here, Jeff, but things are getting rather windy and rather interesting in the North Country.
Yeah, so again, let's reset in terms of what we're looking at right now. If you want to come back to us here in the Weather Center, where are we as we are here at about 9:05 p.m. as you're watching this later on, but we're recording this at just after 9 o'clock. About 4,600 customers in Jefferson County without power. That number has been increasing as the storm and the winds have picked up in the last probably hour or so. As we enter this 9 o'clock hour, the National Weather Service has said look for the gusts to be a little bit stronger. They expect them to be a little bit stronger because perhaps, as we just talked about, maybe a little bit of less rain in that forecast could allow for those stronger gusts to happen. And in terms of what's going on outside with police and fire and all the first responders, a ton of calls out there with some trees that have come down definitely across roads, power outages clearly, and a tree here or there on a home or two. That is happening. Our crews are out there. We anticipate to be able to update you. We will update you on our 10 o'clock broadcast here tonight on WNYF Fox 28, and of course at 11 o'clock, John and Garrett Domblewski will be bringing you the latest information. And again, strongest winds looking to come to about midnight. 1 a.m. is kind of that closing time for these strong winds. And this is sort of coming to fruition the way that it was predicted. 50, 55 mile an hour winds right now. Maybe those 70 mile an hour winds are still coming.
Maybe. We'll have to see how that shakes out. Either way, just the direction of these winds from a southeasterly direction. That's what's causing all the mess.
Okay, that's our update for now. Thank you for clicking play here online and on our website. Watch us live on the air coming up at our 10 o'clock broadcast on Fox, and then of course at 11 o'clock on Channel 7 with John Kubis and Garrett Domblewski.